the band come together. Did you know when everyone was in the room, this is going to be something great? Just talk us through how that all just happened.
Ooh, yeah. I think me and Rog had a kind of shared vision from way back from when we first met in the jazz club room in Imperial College. And as soon as we started playing together, there was something. It sounds corny, but there was a kind of magic that happened there, strangely enough. And it still happens. If he starts hitting his drums and I start playing, it sounds like us. So there's me and Rog there, but we started off with Tim Staffel as our singer in Smile, but that all broke up, and along came Freddie. Mm-hmm. And Freddie was this big unknown, very flamboyant character, but full of kind of paradoxes, because he was a very shy boy, really, but at the same time his behaviour was very much like a peacock. He was very outgoing, and he behaved like a rock star when he wasn't. You know, long before he was a rock star, he was running around being Robert Plant, you know. So we got together with Freddie with really no idea whether he could sing or not. And in the beginning, he couldn't sing that well. He had a voice, but he didn't have the equipment to use it. Very quickly, he found out how. And it happened when we went in the studio. We were lucky enough to go in and do some demos. And Freddie, for the first time, heard himself coming back off tape, and he hated it. He was like, I'm not putting it out like that. I'm doing that again. No, that's not good enough. I'm doing that again. And he would go back and back and back until he got what he wanted. So there's Freddie. And we tried to find bass players, and it was very difficult to find the person who fitted in. I think we were three very strong personalities, and people who came in who didn't appreciate what we were just didn't fit. There was a sort of mismatch. And then suddenly one day in walks John Deacon, who's a friend of a friend.
Yeah. And
it just happened. We never even questioned it. We didn't audition him. He just played with us, and we thought, yeah, fine. That's perfect. He just had what it took. So I think that's the moment. That was your question, wasn't it? When is the moment when we knew we had it? I think that when John was in there and we started to routine new songs, writing and rehearsing. Because we said, look, we're not going to go back out and play pubs and clubs and have nobody listening to us. We are going to rehearse, get ready, the songs, the production, the equipment, and when the knock on the door comes, we're going to be ready. We'll be ready with an act and a band which is able to go out and function.
And it's an interesting, even what you're talking about here, the order of things is very interesting, because it's not like today in the way that you're writing, recording, shaping your sound, and also creating a live show at the same time. This was all done as one thought, right?
Yeah, and a lot of credit to Freddie, because he was very much into presentation. He was an artist, a graphic artist. And I remember him saying, you know, this band is great. And he used to watch me and Rog playing in the other band, and he loved it. He said we had great musicianship and stuff. And he said, but you don't do anything. You know, you don't put it out there. Here, I remember him saying, we have to give them everything. We have to be an act. So it starts right here. And it is about visuals, and it's about being dramatic. It's about making the best use of your body and your facial expressions, your clothes, your lights, your sound, the whole thing. And that became kind of our mantra, which was very
Probably be in most people's top 5 favourite songs. Just tell us what it was like, Brian, sat at the mixing desk listening to the finished Bohemian Rhapsody. You know, this, I mean, it must have been did it feel like you had something special right there?
Yeah, it did, but I don't think we had time to stop and think about it, because we were trying to finish the whole album. We very much made albums rather than singles, and it was an immensely complex album. And we had a launch party before it was finished, actually, which is a bit rash, but it's just the way it worked. 'Cause we were working at 3 studios, in 3 studios at once, and trying to finish off the last pieces. And I remember Kenny Everett came to the launch, famous
Really?
Capital Radio DJ came to the launch and stole one of the tapes. He stole the Bohemian Rhapsody tape because he loved it and played it on the radio before it was finished.
Wow.
I remember waking up next morning. He also stole the Prophet song, which really wasn't finished at all. And I remember hearing it on my neighbour's radio and thinking, oh my God, that's leaked out and it's not even mixed properly. I mean, the Rhapsody tape was as close as anything mixed. It wasn't mastered, but yeah. And of course, I didn't write Bohemian Rhapsody. Now let me think who did. Yes, young Freddie Mercury wrote that, and I think it's a wonderful creation. Yes, and of course, like we were talking earlier, we all pitched in, and of course we contributed lots of stuff, but that was his vision in his head, which we were realising.
Radio 2.